Yeah, just to give me something to talk about. I read the first Tarzan book before we started doing this, and my god, is it dated.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna read you a passage and I want you to tell me if this sounds dated or not. Ah, John, I wish that I might be a man with a man's philosophy, but I am a woman, seeing with my heart rather than my head. Alright, here's another one. He had been sorely disappointed with the poor little village of the blacks. He saw that these people were more wicked than his own apes, and as savage and as cruel as Sabor herself. Tarzan began to hold his own kind in low esteem.
Oh.
And thus young Lord Greystroke took the first step toward the goal with which he had set, the finding of other white men like himself. Here's another one. Tarzan sees people, white people, coming for the first time, and he doesn't want them going into his shack, so he leaves a note on the door. This is the house of Tarzan, the killer of beasts and many black men. Do not harm the things which are Tarzan's.
Oh.
So yeah, I was reading the book, and I'm like, this is pretty different from the Disney movie. I mean, the biggest one is you don't have Phil Collins singing in the background the entire time in the book. And I thought maybe that's a good thing that I don't have Phil Collins singing a magnificent song as Tarzan is lynching the third black guy that chapter.
Oh.
I haven't finished the book yet, but I don't think it's gonna get any better. I think Disney took some smart creative liberties when adapting. Also in the book, Clayton is Tarzan's cousin in the book.
Clayton is Tarzan's cousin.
Yes. And Clayton is also the name of Tarzan's dad. They have like the same last name or whatever. And also, Tarzan's parents didn't survive a ship crash. The ship they were on, the captain was a giant asshole. So the crew mutinied against the captain and killed him. And so they put Tarzan's parents on an island. But instead of them just being stranded on an island to like survive for their own, they just unload a bunch of supplies and shit. So they're just going on about Tarzan's dad, you know, surviving or something. I'm like, you guys have silverware and guns. What are you going on about? You built a shack. Shut up. Also in the book, Tarzan doesn't live with gorillas. They're like, it just says they're apes, but it doesn't specify which kind. So I'm just assuming it's like the apes from the first Planet of the Apes movie. Because it mentions gorillas as a separate species, because when Tarzan's 10 years old, he kills a gorilla in a fight. And that thing mauls the shit out of him. And then the black people show up and it gets very, oh no. You know, minus the talking ill about the black people, I kind of vibe with Tarzan in the book because he's a prankster in the book. He like pranks this village into thinking that he's some kind of god. Like he's in a tree looking at the village and he throws like a skull and he scares the fuck out of them and they think God's angry at them. So they start leaving out food for Tarzan and Tarzan's like, they're leaving out food. I'm gonna eat the food. And he keeps stealing from them in the night and just making them paranoid. Kerchak, in the movie, he learns to love Tarzan. But in the book, Tarzan fucking kills Kerchak. And Kerchak isn't even his dad. It's some other ape, I forget his name, but he also hates Tarzan. And Tarzan fucking kills him too. I'm like, man, this is not like the Disney movie at all. Oh yeah, a line I really wish I hadn't read from the book. The distance between ape and human shortened or whatever. Because baby Tarzan was hungry and Nala supplied him with breast milk. I'm like, I really didn't want to read about an ape breastfeeding a human being. Yeah, Tarzan was always one of my favorites growing up, and I remember one time my parents brought home like this collection of Disney action figures, and we all got to pick which figurine we wanted. So I picked Tarzan because he came with like a vine with a suction cup you could put on like the window or surfaces and he could swing on it, and a spear. But I looked at all the other toys that my siblings picked out, and for some reason, all their swords and stuff they came with lit up like a bright neon orange. And I look over at Tarzan and I'm like, his spear doesn't light up. I don't want Tarzan anymore.
This is not what I thought this game was.
Yeah, I picked this game specifically because we rented this game out from Movie Gallery, which was like poor white trash version of Blockbuster growing up. And we got to this game and there was a point to where I remember I just couldn't beat it. I got stuck at one point, so this game always just sat in the back of my mind is, I gotta beat it. I gotta beat Tarzan. So now I'm letting you play it instead. And I'm just gonna say, I beat Tarzan. So I don't even know, like, where this game goes or if it has boss battles or something. All I remember is swinging through the vines, grabbing bananas, and there's one level I kept dying on as a kid where you're on a raft dealing with piranhas.
The frame rate is not helping me.
Oh, are you having frame rate issues?
Half of my deaths are, like, involuntary.
Watch me play just as bad as you did, but I don't have the excuse of input delay like you did or frame issues. I'm just absolute garbage. You said you've seen Tarzan 2, right?
I saw Tarzan 2. That was the only sequel that I knew of.
All I remember about the second Tarzan movie is that George Carlin voices the other primate, Zugor. I like how that movie tries to give Tarzan a character arc that, fuck, doesn't mean anything. He's just trying to figure out what he is. He's like, you're a Tarzan. He figures all this shit out when he's a kid, but by the time you get to when he's an adult in a movie, the first one he's like, no, I'm an ape. Tarzan ape. Before we got in the call, we watched the first movie. I decided to watch a little bit of Tarzan and Jane, and you could just tell, like, the immediate drop in quality, the change in voice actors and all that shit. But they kept the Phil Collins song, but then they interject with somebody else singing with Phil Collins, and just the mic quality is just completely different to where Phil Collins is singing and it sounds incredibly well. But then this lady interjects. It's like somebody in Audacity with an Xbox 360 mic, and they just don't harmonize together at all. And I'm like, oof, you can really feel that direct to VHS Disney quality dropping in there.
That's a big rip.
And they already changed the ending of the first movie to where in the ending of the first movie, Jane is wearing her own, like, Tarzan garb. But it opens up and Jane is back to wearing her human gear again. I guess they couldn't have sexy jungle Jane running around. And I got like 10 minutes in and some friends of Jane come to visit and they all start beating the shit out of Tarzan because they gotta rescue Jane from this savage. But they work out their differences or whatever and they're in Tarzan's hut and they're like, so Tarzan, tell us about your parents. And he's like, I never knew my parents. Aww. They were killed by the leopard Sabar. Oh. And then, right here in this room. And then he just points at the corner. He goes, right there. And they go, ah! And they just gotta laugh out at me because Tarzan is just right there.
Their bodies are still there.
And oh yeah, I forgot.
Fucking saved it there.
Yeah, when Nala finds Tarzan in the cabin, I forgot to mention, Tarzan's parents weren't killed by Sabor. They were killed by fucking Karchek.
They killed by Nala?
No, Karchek fucking killed Tarzan's parents.
Oh.
Yeah. Imagine punching a snake and it just died. I would feel like God if I did that.
It goes to bite you and you just punch it in the face.
Like AVGN.
He doesn't want the monkey.
Alright, I'm keeping your kid. This is Tarzan's kid now.
I don't think he wants the monkey.
Yeah, I guess it's only the girls that want the monkey.
Yeah, because like they'll from what I read on the thing here, it was like, oh yeah, they'll give you a lift if you complete their challenge.
Oh, I actually remember that. I remember getting yeeted by a monkey when I was a kid.
Yeah, Evan, I don't think you have to fight everything that's
Tarzan must kill. Tarzan is peaceful fucking creature.
No, but like Tarzan is dying because he keeps going to attack.
If only Tarzan had a weapon that had some range on it.
Yeah, I know, right?
I like that not the weapon, but I like that the apes in the Disney movie are like, oh wow, that's an exotic creature. Or something. Meanwhile, Tarzan's adopted father in the book is like, dude, just leave that thing in the tall grass while it's sleeping and the nature will do its thing. Oh, I remember this fucking level. Like, I think there's piranhas in this, even though they make a big deal about there being no piranhas in Africa. Yeah. At least there's alligators. Ah! I was curious because since Tarzan's been around since like the 1900s, I'm like, huh, how many Tarzan books are there? And there's like 24 in the original series. So I went, Jesus Christ.
It's like fucking Sherlock Holmes.
I mean, at least the books are relatively short. I think the first one's only like 140 something pages. I might rewatch Tarzan too. Like, I'm not expecting it to be good, but you never know. There might be some moments in there that surprise me. I just remember Zugor being George Carlin. I remember Zugor fighting some other female ape and falling in love with her. I remember Zugor's pad gets trashed.
I don't remember that.
There's the piranhas!
Tarzan's about to die surfing. You missed the banana. You missed the other banana.
It's because Tarzan is
dead.
dead.
You're dead. That's why. Come on, Tarzan, get your head in the game. You're missing all the bananas.
This makes me wonder if there was a Surf's Up video game. There probably was. It was still right around that era.
I think there was.
They made like 4 different video games every time a movie came out. I mean, do I really need to rescue Rosie O'Donnell? Like, I think we'd be fine if she just kind of drifted off forever. Or is that just me?
Yeah, there's a Surf's Up video game.
What was it about the later 2000s to where they were like, we gotta put Shia LaBeouf in everything?
He was an up-and-coming actor, man.
Yeah, but I just remember everybody
He's
always
like,
shit-talking Shia LaBeouf. Like, I never had anything against him. It's just, he was in everything and everyone just kept shit-talking him.
You see, I'm trying to think of, like, other, like, present-day actors right now that kind of fit the same mold as, like, young Shia LaBeouf. It's very dependent, because I could say Tom Holland, probably Timothée Chalamet.
He's the Dune guy, right?
I guess, yeah, he's the Dune guy. There's definitely a present-day actor who's in everything, and we're all going, Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt's definitely one.
I feel like Chris Pratt fits the mold, like, an old Chris Pratt fits the mold of the young Shia LaBeouf. Because he's getting cast in everything and everyone hates him.
I think it's different with Chris Pratt where people don't hate him, they just hate that the roles he's getting picked for. Meanwhile, everyone just fucking hated Shia LaBeouf.
Chris Pratt keeps doing things people dislike. And yeah, he because of how frequently he's getting roles, right, for things, people obviously dislike him because of that. It's like, dude, you don't, stop it.
It's like, really, Garfield too?
Like, really? Now you're both Mario and Garfield?
I mean, you gotta start with the smaller roles like Mario before you can get to the Garfield levels. I like how hitting a giant branch doesn't do anything, but just kind of nudging the wall towards it's like, ow!
I love the little bit of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater we got every time you grind.
And I also love how it drops me off right in front of the piranhas instead of over them like a good video game jump would do. Did you ever watch the 2016 Tarzan movie?
No.
We were gonna go watch that. My brother's like, oh, it's out. My younger brother. We went to the theater to go watch it, and we were only gonna go watch it because my older brother had a huge crush on Margot Robbie. And that was the only reason we were gonna go watch it. And then we get there and the movie wasn't supposed to come out for like another 2 weeks. And my older brother was very upset that he wasn't going to get to see Margot Robbie that day. So we ended up watching the live-action Jungle Book instead of Tarzan.
That's kind of funny.
You know what? I'm glad we did because I actually liked that.
Yeah, well, I'd say the to be fair on that one is it was like a fresh, like, oh, we're gonna turn these animated movies into live action.
I think it was also the casting too in that movie was actually just really good.
And then it was just, we're going to continue doing that, but for everything.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in the water the entire time.
Yeah, you could see her in the beginning of the level, but she keeps drifting far away.
I thought she was at least on like a board, right?
Yeah.
Because then it would kind of excuse her surviving the alligators and fucking piranhas and stuff.
Are you kidding me? They don't want to bite out of Rosie O'Donnell. Also, I love that monkey icon in the top left. Tarzan, my friend.
You saved me life.
Tarzan saved me. Tarzan, your best friend.
Apparently there's like 15 levels of this game.
Oh, we're still on the water.
And this is the second... I was gonna say, and this is the second water level.
Turns out all the levels are just water levels.
Yeah, the one starting level was solely just to get you engaged.
Man, imagine playing this with the input delay.
Yeah, it couldn't be me.
It would look exactly how you're seeing it now.
Except there'd be an excuse.
I love the bone crunching noises. What is it with this sadist bird taking me through here?
He's gonna come out of this like broken and like unrecognizable, and Jared's gonna be like, Tarzan, what the fuck?
Tarzan, sexy, right? That's another thing with the book. When Tarzan ends up fighting his adopted dad, His adopted dad mauls him so bad that there's like flesh hanging from his forehead over his left eye, and I'm like, how does he survive that? Oh, you fucking kidding me? Maybe there's a reason I didn't finish this game as a kid. I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, I ended up watching the Disney sequels more than I ended up watching the original picture. Are there any Disney sequels that you've just happened to see more than the original?
That's a good question. Oh, well, no, it wasn't really a Disney sequel. But, there was one animated movie, like, I guess, franchise that I did watch a lot of. It was, you know, Secret of Nim?
I don't think so, no. Oh, Tarzan died.
Secret of Nim is a good movie. But, the sequel, I think I've watched that more than the original.
I don't know what it was. My parents just, for some reason, they had all the VHSs of the, Disney sequels, so a good chunk of, like, Disney movies everybody grew up with I've never seen, but I could be like, oh yeah, I saw the second one. Aladdin. Like, I don't think I've ever seen the original animated Aladdin, but I can tell you that King of Thieves is fucking great.
You didn't just see the sequel. You saw the sequel to the sequel.
Yeah.
King of Thieves is one of those, like, it's a special edition movie because it's associated with the TV show of Aladdin rather than the actual, like, movie franchise at that point.
Because I remember Jafar Returns was supposed to be a pilot for the TV show. When they did King of Thieves, like you said, they got Robin Williams to come back as Genie. And it's just so much better than Jafar Returns.
A movie that I've seen more, sequel-wise, Disney-wise, is either Kronk's New Groove or fucking the Tigger movie.
Oh, I've seen that one so many times.
Or like Piglet's Big Movie.
That one as well. You ever watch the Heffalump movie?
Yeah, the Heffalump movie. Yeah, I remember that. I like how Heffalumps are supposed to be scary.
And then the most adorable little fluffy elephant things.
Yeah, and then, like, of course, like, his mom shows up. It's like, hello.
It's like, oh, she's so sweet. And everyone's just, Tigger and Rabbit are just absolutely terrified.
How did Christopher Robin describe Heffalumps to you?
British person learns what an elephant is. It's this horrible monster. Alright, he killed the elephant.
Damn.
Shrek! What the fuck is going on?
Guys, this is a kid's game! All it took was one big Scottish guy to kill Tarzan.
Is that DreamWorks Disney crossover we were wanting?
He was in a video game this entire time. I love how he was going to kill the elephant and then he chose to assault Tarzan. Who are you?
I don't know, man. If the cutscenes worked, maybe we could get some lore. We just gotta piece it together. I read the book, and that's just not helping me out at all. Yeah. I'm seeing a lack of black people getting lynched by Tarzan, so I don't think this is following the book. And we're better off for it.
It's supposed to be, like, right after the movie.
Oh, is it? They should just call this game Tarzan's Honeymoon. How do you know it's a good honeymoon? Jane is nowhere to be seen.
The boys are just being boys. You missed the banana.
I guess I'll just have to live with that. I feel like I would be doing a lot better if the game incorporated Phil Collins.
He's just there. He's not even playing the drums.
Did you ever hear about that uncontacted tribe off of the coast of India? The Sentinels?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, so they've been on this island for like 60,000 years, and they just kill all, or they at least try to kill everybody that comes to the island. There was like one successful contact in the 90s, and there's video of them like giving them coconuts and shit, and then they cut off contact with them because, you know, diseases and shit. They don't want to get them sick. But you might have heard, like, in 2019 or something, some Christian missionary tried going to the island to convert them, and they just murdered him. They started, like, shooting arrows at him from the beach while he was in his boat. And I think they ended up burying him in the sand on the beach. Like, everybody warned him, do not go there, they will kill you. And he's like, nah, it's fine, I got it. Don't worry, guys. I'm the main character. This is why can't we just leave people alone? Do I have to save I don't want to save the kid. Yeah, I can hear it screaming back there. Tarzan, what the fuck? Tarzan, go be with own people. Own people shoot Tarzan, never mind.
Tarzan own people try to shoot.
Tarzan said.
Tarzan have no people.
Tarzan regret. Tarzan think about
Tarzan
life.
forgive self.
Tarzan drown.
Have you seen the children?
Hi, Mom.
No.
Have you seen this child, Tarzan? No, Mom. I have not.
Mom, I don't want to be an ape anymore.
Why is fucking Steve Blum, the guy who voices Sergeant Woods, one of the bad guys in this game?
Steve Blum gets around, man. That dude's done a lot of voices. Tarzan versus Spike Spiegel, let's go.
Frank Welker's also in this game.
I'm not surprised. Frank Welker's in a lot of shit. I mean, I can only name like 2 things
Do you know what he
he's done.
voices?
Who does Frank Welker voice? Tarzan?
Fred Jones in the Mystery Inc. Anyway, no. Frank
bitch.
Welker voices the gorillas, the snake, hippos, rhinos, eagle, monkeys,
Man can
leopard,
just do it all.
crocodile,
And Megatron.
wild pig, and Megatron. So the voice actor for the movie also voices Tarzan in this game.
I think that was right around that point to where if you signed for a movie, you signed for the game too.
Unless you're Tom Hanks, then your brother does it for you.
Tom Hanks will not take a movie role unless his brother gets a guaranteed role in the video game.
Like his brother voices Tom Hanks and everything. Like Tom Hanks just does the movies. That's it.
It's part of his contract. He has to have a body double for sex scenes, and his brother has to voice him in the movie. That's the rule.
His brother has to voice him in the toys, the games, the other media.
He has to play Tom Hanks in the Tom Hanks biopic.
He also has to play himself in the biopic when asked about who voices the toys and stuff.
There's a Tom Hanks biopic, and his brother plays Tom Hanks. But the real Tom Hanks plays him in the stunt scenes.
I'm looking at a walkthrough of this game, and we're only 22 minutes into Buddy's hour 12 playthrough.
Don't worry, we'll overtake him. Yeah, we'll get in the Tarzan zone. We'll get in the Tarzan zone. I wonder if they ever made a video game for Emperor's New Groove.
They did.
What was it on?
PlayStation.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It was a 3D game as well.
I wonder if it's better than Tarzan. I mean, it's a hard challenge to overcome, I know. But it's possible.
I don't know, man. I think Cars got all these games beat with its open world.
I think my favorite thing about that first Cars game was you could just put a lift kit on every car, so I would just have Lightning McQueen 20 feet in the air just gunning it around Radiator Springs. But there was a really bad deceleration in the open world to where I would try to drive over a map icon so I could start a mission, and I would just gun way past it and go, fuck! I tried to back up, and I kept overshooting it. Did you ever play any of the 2-player minigames for that first Cars game?
I think so. Yeah, I know I played I know me and my brother raced each other all the time on it. But I don't know about, like, the minigames.
Yeah, there's one to where one person is the sheriff and the other is Lightning McQueen, and you gotta chase him down.
Yeah. Apparently, my sister stole my Cars game.
Uh-huh.
And her friend broke it.
Like what, they were playing Frisbee with it?
No, they just straight up snapped it in half.
Well, that was nice of them.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you should just send them like an eBay link for a copy, just as a reminder.
It's like they were only 3. It's like, yeah, and that's 3 years enough to understand not to break shit.
You don't fuck with a man's cars!
I never beat that game because of that. You know, I like the game's way of doing the fucking reflection in the water.
Yeah, it's actually pretty nice. I should have been paying attention to that. But I'm too busy trying not to get fucking zanned. Oh god, my forehead itches. Oh, scratching my forehead made me play better. Okay, now it's... Oh, thank fucking Christ. I was getting a little scared there. You know, now that I think about it, this is probably...
Tarzan run.
This is probably just Tarzan's daily commute. This is the path our parents took to school every day. I bet if you show this to Red going, hey Red, is this how you got to school? You go, oh yeah, I did that.
I remember that vine specifically, actually.
My heart
fucking skip it, I guess.
Dude, my heart skipped a beat when I missed that first vine. I was like, no. In the book, he finds his parents' cabin or whatever, and they had like a bunch of books in there. And Tarzan spends like 18 years learning the dictionary. So I'm wondering if the word fuck was ever a part of Tarzan's vocabulary. I don't even know how old I would have been at the time whenever we were renting games. 6-year-old Evan really missed out on this gym. Are you fucking kidding?
Tarzan's like, oh no, I'm getting shot. I gotta dive.
That's what happens in the
Wait,
book.
I can't swim.
I'm imagining some Disney writers just picking up the book and skimming through it and going, ooh.
They read the summary of the book and they're like, this seems good.
Aw. I like how Tarzan's shadow just drifts completely away from him. That's like his actual soul just like, I'm free.
It's like the Crash Bandicoot like death scenes. Where he just falls over and his angel like flies away. Good job, Tarzan. You really showed that bird.
Fuck birds. Birds are assholes. Tarzan angry. If it was that easy, I don't know why he just didn't do that in the movie.
Yeah, actually, no, I think he does do that in the movie, but the leopard wasn't a punk-ass bitch in the movie.
Yeah, and Tarzan was strapped in the... Oh my god, I think that kid just plummeted to its death. I always keep missing that one...
Yeah.
I don't get what Tarzan thinks is so fun about this. I guess they just must have cut all that stuff out of the book of Tarzan missing a vine and going, F*** shit.
It's like there is depth, there's enough depth perception to like allow you to figure out where things go. But sometimes you're just mindlessly jumping, and then you jump off a vine like this one, you're not realizing you have to climb first.
That's the Zan taking over instead of the Tar.
Have you seen the children?
Yeah, it's back there somewhere. I want the alternate version where Tarzan does go to England. And he starts swinging around London. And he starts fighting Jack the Ripper.
In the live action movies, he goes to London.
Does he?
Like in Tarzan 2, I think he returns. It's either he returns to the jungle in Tarzan 2, or he now has to deal with the living life as a fresh citizen.
Tarzan 2, Tarzan does his taxes.
It's just an hour-long movie where you're just sitting there staring at him at his desk going, how the fuck what the fuck is a T4?
I want to see Tarzan 3 where he goes back to London, but he lives inside like a zoo enclosure. And then some kid falls into Tarzan's enclosure and the zookeeper has to shoot Tarzan.
Yeah, I was gonna say they just shoot Tarzan like he's an ape.
Where's Tarzan's handler? Get him in here. We don't know how he's gonna behave.
Tarzan is like perfectly fine.
Just he's speaking to the kid in English, and they're like, "Somebody save him!" You know, I lived among apes when I was a kid, and then he just takes buckshot right into the heart, and then everybody starts saying online, "Dicks out for Tarzan."
Dicks out for Tarzan. Jane becomes an activist for like Tarzan lives or whatever.
Every day we're intruding on Tarzan's habitat. We gotta stop it. She shot first.
That's all.
I didn't even hit a fucking plane!
He just gave up. The bullet was a delayed reaction.
I feel funny. Bloop.
Tarzan feel funny. He's actively losing blood because he got shot. It's like, I don't know why, but I all of a sudden feel a lot of wind coming from one spot.
Jane, why does everything sound like rushing water?
Jane, do you smell that? What is it, Tarzan? I don't know. It just
You smell burnt toast?
smells like cooked bread.
How do I know what toast is? Falls over.
Me, Tarzan, you, Jane, me, muchacho.
Alright, let's play Tarzan for the first time ever.
Yeah, who the fuck's Eva? Oh, those precious film reels we were ignoring earlier. Apparently you have to collect them to actually progress past a certain point at the game. So luckily Eva has gone through the whole game and gotten us every film reel.
I'm so glad Eva did that, whoever Eva is.
Yeah. So I saw on your snap that you also watched Tarzan and Jane, right?
I did.
What did you think of Tarzan and Jane?
It felt very Disney Channel-y.
Yeah, that made a lot more sense to me when I realized, oh, these are just pilot episodes for the Tarzan show.
Wait, was there a Tarzan show?
Tarzan and Jane was a show, and it ran for like 2 or 3 seasons. So those were just episodes that you watched in a movie format. Oh, speaking of Tarzan and Jane, the only thing that I thought was kind of cool from Tarzan and Jane was when Tarzan was fighting the crocodiles. I thought that was actually kind of cool, and he closed their mouths with his hands and feet and whatever, and he like ran them into a rock. I'm like, that was actually pretty cool.
Maybe I could do that someday.
I remember reading a thing in a book to where it said,
He just
for the
break that fucking gator's jaw, or just...
He's Tarzan. Forgot to break the tail, though. I read a thing that says, do not try to wedge a gator's mouth open with a stick like you saw in a cartoon. The gator is too strong and it will break the stick. I'm like, it sounds like an alligator wrote this part.
Yeah.
I'm totally gonna try that.
Yeah, hold on.
See, like, it worked
I'm
for Tarzan.
totally looking it up.
See?
I'm looking it up right now. Stick a stick
In a gator's mouth.
Gator's mouth. It's not advised to attempt to stick any object such as a rod into a crocodile's mouth to keep it open. Crocodiles are powerful and dangerous animals with strong jaws that can easily crush bones and cause serious harm. Interfering with the crocodile in this manner is extremely dangerous and can provoke the animal. Blah, blah, blah. I want to know if it works.
You know what, though? That's talking about crocodiles. That means it works on gators. I know how you can do it with the stick, Keegan. You just gotta do what Patrick did with Squidward's jellyfishing net, to where he wedged it into his hand. You just gotta go up to that crocodile and be like,
grasp it.
firmly grasp it. Firmly grasp it in your jaws. So you watched all of Tarzan and Jane, because I watched 2 out of the 3 segments. By the time the 3rd segment came around and I saw those planes dogfighting in the jungle, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I've had enough Tarzan and Jane.
I watched all of it. Yeah, the 3rd segment was about a guy that knew Jane, as per.
Mm-hmm.
He was a British pilot captain, but he was also a double agent solely because the Germans would pay more. So, and he needed a music box he handed to Jane because it had the information that could change the results of the war.
Got it.
He expected her to come back from Africa to get it back after the police were not stopped chasing him, but then she just never came back from Africa.
It's like, yeah, I know World War II is important, but Tarzan.
Yeah, Tarzan, and then Tarzan got jealous about this guy because he looked at him as a fling for Jane, and Jane was gonna like him better than Tarzan.
So using his ape instincts, Tarzan ripped his face off.
He did. He got on the when they realized he was the bad guy, right? Tarzan chased him to his plane, got on said plane. Guy flew into the air with Tarzan on his plane, and he fought the guy.
That's awesome. It's like some JoJo Part 2 shit. I was surprised by how many, like, Disney shows based off the movies I saw, because, I mean, I get it, spin-off movies, those are simple, but entire TV shows. I learned there was a Hercules TV show that ran for, like, 4 seasons, but there's actually a thing in the Hercules television series to where he does a crossover with Aladdin to deal with Jafar. Jafar doesn't deal with Hades.
The Aladdin show is so good.
I might actually watch that, especially if it has anything to do with King of Thieves. Oh yeah, the Tarzan yell does work. To do the Tarzan yell, you have to go do the challenges, which are their own separate missions that pop up on the map after you've done enough.
So, Evan, is there a reason why we chose Untamed over the other Tarzan game?
I didn't know there were other Tarzan games. That's why. This is the one I played as a kid and never beat. And knowing what...
Well, it's a good thing it's this one, because this is, I think, the shortest one out of all of them. Damn! Dude, point blank, and you still missed.
Damn! He says, let's fight. Alright, buddy, your go. Your move. Dumbass.
He couldn't see you. You weren't in his line of sight.
He should have had that crotch cam installed. Did you also laugh at the bit in Tarzan and Jane where Tarzan's like, my parents, they died. Right there. Like...
It's like, oh, I'm surprised you made this cabin, Jane. It's like, actually, no, it was made by Tarzan's parents. It's like, oh, yeah, they lived here when I was young. Oh, but then they died by Sakaar. I'm like, oh, right there. And they're like, oh! I'm like, dude. Dude. I think the funniest thing, too, is that the cops just show up, like, 2 times. That entire movie.
The idea that you can call the cops on Tarzan is funny to me.
There's apparently a guy who just has a shop at a dock set up in Africa, and he was just always there. And then also, like, every single time there's a bad guy that shows up that's there to do mischief, they just call the British police to arrest the guys and take them back to England.
Gotta love imperialism. Imagine trying to escape England and you think you're scot-free, and then Tarzan gets you arrested.
The fucking ape man did get you arrested and calls the fuzz.
Like, you're like, oh, we're out of British jurisdiction. And then Tarzan comes swinging in and you see he has like a sheriff badge stapled to his right nipple. And there's like blood coming out of it.
He's got like a blue loincloth.
He even has the hat.
I was gonna say he's wearing the Bobby hat just because.
Oh, I found out one reason. Or I found out the reason why I kept falling whenever Tarzan would hang onto a ledge. It's because you're like, oh, I press up to pull myself up. It's like, no, up would make you keep going forward in the path. Yeah. So really, if you're facing the camera and you're hanging on a ledge, pull towards the camera. Oh, these spiders are so annoying. They always get me. Ah! I thought the guy that voiced Tarzan in the animated series was pretty good.
So far you've hit all of them, Evan.
I know. I thought it was funny. Just Tarzan going, ah!
Also the anime?
No, I thought the guy that voiced Tarzan in the animated series was actually pretty good.
Yeah. But going back to the fucking, my parents, they lived here. But then they were murdered by Sakaar.
Right
there. Like, that motherfucker knows exactly what he was doing. He cannot, like, he could go off and go, oh, I'm just Ape Man. I don't understand, room tones. It's like, no, he does.
Tarzan have English degree.
Like, this motherfucker knows what he was doing and what he was saying.
Tarzan have English degree.
Tarzan have English degree.
Tarzan drown. You know, I think I'm gonna use the baboons. Tarzan was wrong. Tarzan see error of ways.
Tarzan make mistake once, but fixes it later. What is the story about this game again?
I don't know. Tarzan's gotta go save Jane or something. Wait, no, I know what the story is. The story is, I think some treasure hunter guy comes to Tarzan's island, and you gotta stop him.
Africa.
I can't remember if Tarzan is, like, on the continent Africa, or if it's an island. Because I remember in the book, it talks about the ship shows up, and they were going around the perimeter of the island for a while before they docked, because they were trying to see if anybody was on the coast.
It also makes it really funny to think about that they were in Africa, and this guy, again, had a dock and store set up, but, like, Tarzan's parents just never found him.
I guess that guy probably showed up much more recently.
I like how his character's design is to be like, oh, Jane, maybe you should be with me.
They put one French guy in there. He's like, all right, let's make him a womanizer.
If Tarzan's dead, you know that you always have a shoulder to cry on with me.
Tarzan should just rip his face off like once an episode. Oh, Tarzan. Tarzan, please, I was just kidding.
Jane mine. Jane mine. Tarzan, I know you speak better English than that. Jane mine.
It's like, listen to Tarzan, how he speaks like an ape. So dumb. And then every time Jane shows up, the French guy's like, Jane mine. Jane mine. Like he also turns into an ape, man.
The duality of man. The moment a pretty woman shows up, you just become an ape.
I think that's an episode of South Park when the boys are discovering boobs for the first time. They just all go, they all start fist fighting each other.
Grind! Whoa! Tony Hawk!
We should throw Tony Hawk into the jungle and see how well he does.
Tarzan get chased by snake and Tarzan's dead.
Tarzan got bit by a bat. Tarzan contract malaria.
Tarzan got bit by rat. I think it was the snake that got you. Jump into the center, jump into the center, jump into the center. Aw.
I don't think you could jump into the center.
That sounds like quitter talk.
Alright, let me kill myself again.
Wait.
Tarzan, no quitter. Tarzan killer.
Tarzan self-mutilate.
Tarzan apex predator. Tarzan only foe is Tarzan.
Hey, I've yet to see Tarzan get killed by anyone in the canon.
We should animate that episode of the Disney show where someone's smart enough to just shoot Tarzan. Or to just poison an animal.
I think the funniest thing is that in Tarzan and Jane too, like there's the fucking like second episode, but he just does have a gun on Tarzan.
Tarzan use volcano. Yeah, I need to watch some more of that Tarzan Tarzard show. Tarzard, my favorite Pokemon. The fact that Tarzan can't swim in this game to me is infuriating because they go into great effort in the book to talk about how Tarzan enjoys swimming so much that he does it daily.
It's the hubris of it all.
Tarzan only swim when Tarzan wants to.
Exactly. He's a good swimmer when he wants to swim. Any other time, he's terrible.
Tarzan's very shy. He can't perform under pressure, much like me.
Tarzan, when he's on his own, swims like an Olympian. Tarzan, when he's at the Olympics, can't swim.
I did read a little bit more of the book, and it was kind of funny that Jane goes into immediate Stockholm Syndrome when Tarzan sweeps her up, starts going through the jungle with her. She's like, she felt calm in his arms and whatever. She didn't even care that she was hundreds of feet in the air.
It's gotta make you wonder what was happening in England for Jane to make her immediately feel calm in the arms of an ape man.
Oh, that's funny. In the book, Jane's American. Clayton is still British, but Jane is American. And she actually talks about how she's upset that Tarzan's not an American man because she wanted a nice American man. But Tarzan is just so sexy that she doesn't care that he's not American. Tarzan get visa. Tarzan get passport. Tarzan have dual citizenship.
Tarzan travel world. Tarzan take year off from school to go to Europe.
Tarzan travel world. Tarzan become more enlightened as human being. Tarzan comes back to Africa. Savages! And starts hanging them again. Tarzan, I thought you went elsewhere. Yeah, I went to Europe. Oh, that explains it.
Tarzan grow beard during Europe continental trip.
Oh.
ExpressVPN subscription expiry. Tarzan angry.
Tarzan IP address got leaked. Tarzan can no longer torrent safely.
Tarzan can no longer watch Netflix in other country like my own.
Tarzan can no longer play cool math games at school.
Tarzan angry. Tarzan want cool math games. Tarzan want Papa's Pizzeria.
Better pizza. Oh, this box is jackass. This is the jackass box, because... Yeah. Imagine opening that.
Oh, nice.
Imagine opening that loot crate.
Merry Christmas, Timmy. Wow, for me...
Keegan, you gotta stop doing this. He falls for it every time. Oh, that guy. Fuck that guy.
He's got a gun.
No, that guy shot me like 3 times when I came through here. It's like, okay, I can get around him. Boom!
What I'm hearing is he's the guy that you were talking about earlier where you wish someone just shot Tarzan.
Exactly. Imagine somebody finally does shoot Tarzan, but it like just bounces off of him like he's RoboCop.
Yeah,
Tarzan's a cyborg.
Everyone thought that Tarzan just hasn't been shot at yet. No, he actually had. Oh, bye.
Maybe that's why Tarzan's just so cool. He's just like a British cyborg that ended up in Africa, and it forgot its programming, and they're like, we gotta get our weapon back. Tarzan just signed new deal with Disney. Tarzan be in 20 films. Tarzan script canceled. Tarzan replaced Tom Holland.
Tarzan Spider-Man, real life.
Gone wrong.
Gone sexual?
Of course, it's Tarzan.
Gone Tarzan.
Yep, from now on, anytime we want to say something sexual or fucked up, we'll say that's pretty Tarzan, dude.
Well, that was unfair.
Yeah, that one was just me. I clipped that one. Come on.
Tarzan angry, Tarzan clip, yet Tarzan still get hit.
Tarzan get banned from Twitch. Twitch.Tarzan.
Tarzan get found out on live leak.
Oh, bats.
Tarzan get raped on national television.
It's poetic. Just as one life ends, another begins.
He got killed by the bats, and then the rubies pushed him away.
Tarzan used wrong pickaxe to mine emerald. I think there were like 3 Tarzan games, because I already knew about this one, but I went on Wikipedia looking at other things. I'm not gonna fall for that.
What the fuck is with that ruby, the mask there?
Oh, the extra
It's like,
life.
ah, you know you want it. You know you want it. Tarzan clicks save state button so he doesn't immediately die.
I'm not gonna lie, I said that exactly out loud when I was doing the bungee jump. Like, every time I would fuck up, I would just go, Tarzan, use save state. So... I just went full 8 mode, just Tarzan, use save state. Ow!
Tarzan load save state. Tarzan use save state.
It's as they say, Keegan, never go full Tarzan. I know Spider-Man's web swinging only works because he has enough muscles to, like, use his body momentum to launch him further in the air. But I wonder if you had enough vines laid out, if you could just Tarzan your way through an obstacle course. I mean, I've seen, like, the American Ninja Warrior, but I'm talking about with, like, actual vines. If somebody laid out, like, a Tarzan-esque course for you to run through, how many vines do you think you could swing off of before you go, I'm tired, I can't do this anymore? Oh yeah, and this is like one arm swinging. Like, right arm grabs that vine, next one left arm.
Tarzan dead. Tarzan shot in the head.
I took the Tarzan challenge and it went terrible. I'd give myself 3 or 4 vines before I just slip.
Yeah, maybe 3 or 4.
Alright, time for the Tarzan fitness challenge. I would like to go to a gym where they have all the ropes and shit laid out to where you could try something like that, and it's over like a big foam pit. You ever think Aladdin ever gets drunk and crashes the flying carpet into like a wall or something?
I don't think he can afford it to get drunk.
Really, even after marrying Jasmine?
I was gonna say, even after marrying Jasmine, I don't think he's allowed to touch the money.
You know what? That's fair. Aladdin has to steal his allowance. Jasmine doesn't know about it. She just thinks the funds are going somewhere else, so Aladdin conjures up this story. He's like, yeah, no, there's this king of thieves, and really...
It's his dad.
It's like,
he finds out later.
It's like, Aladdin, did you pay your dad to pretend to rob us so I wouldn't know you're stealing from me? Yeah.
Yeah, the King of Thieves movie is actually just like... It's like, it's an in-universe movie that Aladdin, like, made up just to be like, see?
And then Genie's like, you know, Aladdin, you could just wish for money now that I'm free, right? It's like, but it's not as fun!
I like to think the counterpoint to Aladdin is, Genie, you could just give it to me.
But it's not as fun!
It's also just not fun.
I think that's a reasonable answer to where if someone asks you, why did you take such an asinine approach when you could have just done this? Because that's not as fun!
Was that the last game? Or was that the last
level?
Well,
there's a final mission to where you fight a guy, but it never showed that. I used to watch Cinemassacre's James and Mike Mondays, and Mike is like hardcore anti-emulation to where it's smuggish to where they'll even talk about it's like it's just not the same as playing on the actual hardware. I'm like, well, you can get off your high horse because emulation is fucking great.
It's not the same as playing. It's like, okay, then just play it on the original hardware then, and not yell at fucking emulators.
But Keegan, if I didn't spend $1,000 on Rescue from Dino Hill, it doesn't count. Also, I guess Shrek is the final boss. Shrek's doing whiteface.
But Evan, whiteface isn't real.
You're right.
I like how the final boss is just...
a guy we already fought. Oh, Someone new.
Oh my gosh.
He's so evil.
The guy that showed up in that one cutscene a while ago.
He's so evil, Keegan. He's probably French. I've seen your methods, Tarzan. I've seen you lynch a couple people. Now you're gonna get a taste of your own medicine, Tarzan. No, only Tarzan can lynch. Shrek is waking up. Oh, hey, Jane. Alright, Jane, you step in.
Yeah, they just muffled Jane. They just put a thing over her mouth.
Oh god, she's too British. We can't listen to her. We thought she would be American. We read the book. We were very disappointed when we found out she wasn't.
How much you want to bet the villains are Danish?
I guess we'll never find out because all they know how to do is go.
No!
Oh, I was gonna say the cutscenes magically work all of a sudden.
That's a lot of bones.
It's Tarzan's pile.
These are things Tarzan doesn't want you to see.
The plot of the game is Tarzan's trying to stop poachers. The reality is only Tarzan can be the one killing animals. I can see why Tarzan wanted to stop them if that was really their kill pile. I'm like, man, those guys went to town. It's like when SpongeBob and Patrick went to go get ice cream in the SpongeBob movie. Just all those bones. Starts profusely bleeding out of where she pulled the splinter out. Put it back in! Put it back in! Put it back in! Well, we beat the campaign. It was very uneventful. Let's do something more exciting like bungee jumping.
Oh, okay. It just snaps.
Have you ever gone bungee jumping before?
No.
Me either. My sister wants me to go bungee jumping with her, and I'm just like, why? Ow. Like, that should fucking kill him. I don't care how well built you are, Tarzan. You should be jelly. Ask Red if he thinks he could beat up Tarzan.
You think you could beat up Tarzan?
Tarzan can beat up a male gorilla.
You could beat up Tarzan?
Probably not.
Damn it, I was hoping he was gonna say, oh yeah, I could take him.
He's being rational here.
Tarzan can take out a male silverback.
Now, if you had a gun...
Yeah, just shoot him.
Yeah, just shoot him.
And that's how that video is going to end.